Every single season, we see certain players add something to their game that people just didn't see coming. I think the best example is Brook Lopez. In his first 6 seasons, he hadn't attempted a single three-pointer. In his first 8 seasons, he had made just 3 of them. Then on the flip of a switch, in 2017, he takes 387 and shoots 35%. Since then, floor spacing has been a massive part of his game. In today's video, I want to look at 10 players that need to add something to their skill set. If you guys like the content, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Over 50% of y'all that watch the videos aren't subscribed. What are you doing? Smash that button. Let's try to get 4 likes on today's video, and let's hop into it. Let's start this off with something that was a big topic for a couple of the league stars during the playoffs, and that's free throw shooting. There's 2 guys that really come to mind, Luka Donta and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Luka's struggles at the line really confused me. For a guy that's not beating people with his athleticism, rather pure talent with the ball in his hands, it's odd for him to struggle with arguably the easiest shot in the game. Well, I should say at times. He's a career 73% shooter, which is still one of the worst out of all the top scoring guards, but it's not terrible. It was really in the playoffs where he struggled, shooting just 53% in that 7-game series against the Los Angeles Clippers. It's hard to find flaws in Luka's offensive game, but if there is one, it's gonna be this. Now, I don't think there's any question we're gonna see this go up and go up quickly. He's improved season after season with his efficiency from the floor and from 3, which was a concern going into this season. I really think Luka can reach Houston Rockets' James Harden level of volume very, very soon. Not only do I think his 3-point efficiency is gonna keep going up, but I think he's really gonna raise his volume and efficiency from the free throw line. Then you've got Giannis, and I really think this one's massive for him. His free throw shooting was talked about a lot during the playoffs, but I think that was mostly due to his hour-long free throw routine. Down the stretch of important games, the most common shot for the Bucks is probably going to be Giannis free throws. He got to the line around 10 times a game during the regular season and shot 68%. During the playoffs though, that was down to 59%, which was actually slightly better than what he had done a year prior. Let's be honest with ourselves. While we don't want to take anything away from the Bucks title, they played who was in front of them and they won. They got pretty lucky, running up against an injured Nets team and then avoiding the Lakers in the finals, who were also dealing with injury. It's not often that you have the reigning champions that are bringing back basically their whole entire roster, not even have top 3 odds at the title going into next season. Expecting Giannis to become a 3-point threat at this point is just not realistic, but at least he can avoid that shot. There's no getting out of taking free throws. We saw him shoot close to 80% early on in his career. If he can get back to that, I really think that can get this Bucks team to the next level, especially in that playoff environment. Then you've got 3-point shooting. Now, obviously, with how important it is in today's game, there's a ton of guys that you would like to see improve as shooters. But in my eyes, there's really 3 guys that I think can really rise up their rankings in the league by becoming more of a perimeter threat. Now, I only want to talk about guards as it's more required at these positions and younger players, because as you get further and further into your career, this is a hard skill set to add. Now, I think the most obvious one has been Simmons, and this one goes way further than 3-point shooting. He can't shoot the ball, period. He has no mid-range or 3-point skill set whatsoever. He also struggles at the free throw line, which I truly believe he's scared to go to, which affects his aggressiveness on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Ben Simmons has been a hot topic in the NBA community ever since the 76ers got bounced out of the playoffs. The trade rumors have been flying in, and it looks like Ben Simmons possibly wants out. Now, I do have to say, I don't have any confidence in Ben Simmons being able to learn to shoot the ball. I'm a part of the group that thinks he's actually shooting with the wrong hand, but that's something that I think it's too late to switch. But regardless of how good of a playmaker Ben Simmons is, regardless of how good a defender he is, he's a max contract player. At this point, if we don't see him add something drastic to his game, we might be looking at him as a bad contract. Then you've got DeAaron Fox. I really love what Fox has become as a point guard in this league. This past season, he really broke out. He averaged 25 points and 7 assists a game. He's another guy that shooting, though, is just holding him back from being in the conversation with the league's best. I really like this one, though, because the mechanics are solid. I think he has a real chance to be a solid shooter. We saw him raise the volume. He shot almost 6 attempts a game, but shot just 32%. I think we're going to see a big jump next year from him in this department, and we're going to be talking about DeAaron Fox a lot more. Then there's DeJounte Murray. This is a guy I've liked a lot throughout his NBA career with what he can bring as an elite perimeter defender. We've seen him grow with what he can do off the dribble. This past year, he averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, but he struggled to shoot the ball. He shot just 32% on low volume. He's a guy that I think is a sneaky breakout candidate going into next year. With DeMar DeRozan out of town, someone needs to step up, and Murray could definitely be that guy. The talent is without a doubt there. Next up, I want to mention Collin Sexton. Sexton in his third season became an elite 3-level scorer. He averaged 24 points, shooting 48% from the field, 37% from 3, and 82% from the line. If he was 6'5", we could be looking at him a lot different, but he isn't. He's 6'1", and that's probably including his hair. He's pretty locked into the point guard position when you consider his struggles on the defensive end, but he's actually not playing the point guard position. He's a shooting guard in Cleveland, sharing the backcourt with Darius Garland. This team has no choice. Collin Sexton has never heard of the word playmaker. In order for Collin Sexton to really hit that next level, we're going to have to see him embrace the point guard position. I really think this Cavs team just needs to make a decision. Sexton or Garland. This Sexton thing is just never going to work out if this team really has hopes of competing. If it becomes clear that he's just never going to be a point guard, I truly believe he's best suited in a 6-man type role, which you'd probably be elite in. Next up, we've got Zion Williamson, and as you see from the thumbnail, he needs to get in better shape. Now, I know a lot of people would push back on this, maybe even Zion himself. There's a strong case to be made that Zion's size, weighing close to 300 pounds at maybe 6'7", is what's allowed him to become such a strong interior force. But while that may be true to an extent, I think there's a much better sweet spot. I don't think Zion should go to a Kevin Durant frame, obviously. But Zion, since getting to the league, has been a much different player than when he was at Duke and undoubtedly lighter. And I still think he could go lower than that and it wouldn't be bad. I really think we undervalue Zion's skills. I think a lot of people attribute all his success to athleticism, but I don't think that's really the case. He really showed me this past season that he's capable of a lot more than I thought. We saw him at times become the ball handler in the pick and roll and even play the 2-man with JJ Redick as the screener. I would love to see him take on more and more of those responsibilities, but I think at this point, his size is really holding him back, and especially holds back the longevity of his career. I don't think he has the same speed he had in college, and I really think going down in weight could unleash potential that we haven't even seen yet. Next up, we've got one of the Ball brothers, Lonzo Ball. I still believe in the talent, but we need to see something scoring off the dribble. We now know he can catch and shoot, which is great. That was a big concern early on in his career, but that's about all he can do right now as a scorer. Given what he can do as a playmaker and as a defender, and now as a spot-up shooter, if he can become a threat at anything inside the perimeter, he's gonna be scary. His unique shot form caused him to never really have a mid-range game, so I don't see that coming anytime soon, but given his frame and athleticism, I think we need to see more from him attacking the basket and at least getting to the line. Now, I do have to say, I absolutely love Lonzo's fit with this Bulls team. The Pelicans needed scoring out of Lonzo. That's not really the case in Chicago. With Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan, there's enough scoring on this team. I really think in Chicago, he's going to continue to be amazing at pushing the ball up the court and playmaking in the open court. But I think in the half-court setting, we're actually going to see a lot more playmaking responsibility go to DeMar DeRozan with Lonzo as a spot-up shooter. Lastly, we've got a player that doesn't need to add something to their game, but did this past year and needs to continue it and improve on it going into next season. I made it very clear that I think the Warriors have much better title odds than I think Vegas is giving them. And the sneaky reason for that is Andrew Wiggins. With Curry still playing at the highest level, Clay returning, Draymond still there, and an amazing rookie class of Kuminga and Moody, I think this team really does have a shot. I do have concerns that they might feel forced to give James Wiseman minutes, but the real X factor and the player I want to talk about is Wiggins. Wiggins was the guy that a lot of people were writing off at the end of his time in Minnesota. He was really only sent to the Warriors because his contract was needed in the D'Angelo Russell deal. But he showed us a lot this past season. He averaged 19 points a game, shooting with career-high efficiency across the board, including 38% from 3. But the biggest thing for Wiggins is that he went from a defensive liability to at least solid on that end, and that's what I want to see continue. I have faith in him offensively, and now being the clear third option, I love what his skill set allows with minute stacks, but a huge part of the Warriors dynasty was defense. Obviously, Draymond and Clay were elite, but it was guys like Andre Iguodala whose perimeter defense was massive. Wiggins was pretty impressive as a team defender. He was able to block around a shot a game, and in his one-on-one matchups. A lot of metrics will support this. Out of every player in the league that defended someone on at least 200 shot attempts, Wiggins held his opponents to the second lowest field goal percentage in the whole league, only trailing Mike Conley. His opponents shot 38.5%. Every year prior in his career, his opponents were shooting no less than 45%. To add on to that, his opponents only shot 30% from 3. This stat's not going to tell the full story, but it's safe to say Wiggins is changing his game. And if he can continue to embrace doing what it takes to help the Warriors win, I really think he's going to be a game changer. But that's the end of the video, guys. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.